Five Nights at Freddy's 3 is by no means a bad game, but it is in my opinion the worst game in the original Five Nights at Freddy's series, and it is typically what most of the FNAF community thinks. So in today's video, I'm going to be going over why this game gets so much hate and why people regard it as the worst game in the series. So hit that like and subscribe, and let's get straight into the video. Now, I'm not going to be going over how Five Nights at Freddy's 3 gameplay works, as 90% of people watching this video will already know how the game generally works, so without further ado, let's talk about the main issues with it. My first issue with the gameplay is how damn boring it is. You spend so much time in Five Nights at Freddy's 3 just waiting for things to be repaired, and although this can be quite tense at first, it eventually just gets very repetitive and very boring to do so. And the main mechanic of the game, which is keeping Springtrap away from your office, is also extremely damn boring, especially throughout the first few nights, as you can literally just keep him in cam 10 with vent 14 closed, and he literally can't do anything, as long as you periodically repair the ventilation and audio. The phantoms do spice up the gameplay a bit and add a bit more of a challenge to the game. However, it's not enough to make the game a big enough challenge overall. Which brings me to my next point. If this game is just way too easy. In most other FNAF games, you have loads of animatronics that you have to keep track of, otherwise it's game over. However, in Five Nights at Freddy's 3, Springtrap is the only animatronic that can actually kill you, which is a cool idea on paper, but in practice it doesn't really work too well in my opinion, as you never really feel like there's a ton of urgency in this game, as you only have to keep track of one single animatronic. The environment of Five Nights at Freddy's 3 is certainly very green, and that's because Scott Cawthon decided that the best colour for a horror game is pickled cat piss, and the best jump scare he could be bothered to animate was legit just Daddy Afton saying hello. The lack of horror in FNAF 3 is definitely a big attribute to it being the worst game in the series, as most of the other games in this series have at least some small traces of horror in them, making them a little bit spooky. But FNAF 3 does not have a single attribute that makes it scary, except maybe how damn long and boring the cutscenes are, which is something I wouldn't force even the worst human beings in the world to have to sit through. This isn't made any better when one of the animatronics looks like a literal watermelon, and to be honest, it really is a damn shame that this game doesn't lead into the horror more, because the design itself of the main star of FNAF 3, Springtrap, is one of the best and most creepy looking designs in the whole franchise, and there's a reason why Scott Cawthon keeps bringing him back over and over again. But honestly guys, overall, FNAF 3 is just very boring and very simple, and not really scary whatsoever. And this is probably why Scott Cawthon didn't end the franchise on 3, even though that was the original plan that he intended. Scott Cawthon saw the backlash and the overall disappointment that FNAF 3 received, and used it to make FNAF 4, which in my opinion is probably the second best game in the whole franchise next to Five Nights at Freddy's 1. But at the end of the day, although FNAF 3 kinda sucked, it at least gave Scott Cawthon the perfect excuse to make another amazing horror game, and it may have led to where the series is today, so we can at least look on the bright side and appreciate what FNAF 3 did for the series. But yeah guys, there we have it. That's the reasons why FNAF 3 is in my opinion the worst game in the series. Now I know this video is extremely short, but I didn't really want to make it too long, and I really just wanted to keep things simple and give my opinions on the game. But either way guys, I do hope you enjoyed today's video. If so, I'd really appreciate a like and a sub. But other than that, I hope you all have an amazing day, and I'll see you on the next video, where I might actually be checking out one of the better games in the series.